Hello YouTube again. Part 2 for upgrading the lights of the ML W163 Mercedes-Benz, and it's only been 3 years for part 2 to get out, but yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, hey? Although 3 years is a bit extreme, I suppose. This is where things get complicated. Well, you would have already seen the upgrade of the rear lights to LED, where I upgraded the indicators as well as the parking lights. Changing the front ones is where it starts to get a bit more complicated. Let me show you what I mean. So as you can see, we've got this very fast flicker. Now, obviously the reason why this is happening is because the LED globes that I've been putting in are in fact not properly CAN bus globes as they were advertised to be. I think that proper CAN bus LED globes is a very rare thing to find out there. So how can we solve this? Well, I think I may have found a solution. Before we go on, during editing I realized that I had not explained that a simple replacement of the flasher unit for an LED unit would not help in this case, as most modern vehicles use more complex units, for which there are no LED flasher units available. However, you may want to keep watching because this solution will even bypass the replacement of a LED flasher unit. So without any more to do, let's get to it and let's try it out. You're gonna be with me on this journey as I try out my idea and hope for the best that it's going to work. And I reckon it's a very cheap and affordable idea, and if it works, man, I think it's brilliant. I think it'll be brilliant. So let's do it. First thing we need to do is we need to take off this strip underneath the headlight, and in order to do that there are two clips. The bottom one over here you need to push down, and this middle one over here you need to over here press down as well, this side. So on the back side you've got to press down, and on the front side here you've got to press down, and it just comes out easy like that, and then it just swivels outwards like this and it'll slide out. Now you might find that some of these clips might be broken. I used white PVC pipe to actually fashion these ones on the other one. When I take that one out, let me quickly show you. Okay, on the right hand side one, again push down in the back there and down on the front here, and it comes out, swivel out, and this is what I mean. So I took a heat gun, a PVC, I think it was a 40mm PVC pipe, and a heat gun, and I started molding it inside of this. I glued it down there with I think it was epoxy, and fashioned these side pieces and molded them and cut them until they fit nicely, and it's been doing an excellent job. Next is a size 10 socket on the top of the light. It isn't very tight because it is plastic. The bolt is metal, but the clip is plastic, and you don't want to, when tightening again, you don't want to tighten it too hard in so that you break this plastic. You don't want to tighten it too much. And for the last two bolts, also the size 10s, you've got one over here and you've got one over here. And with that, you just slide it out this way, trying not to scratch your bumper. Mine happens to be freshly painted. There we go. So you got this one, which is responsible for the headlight adjustment. This is your, this one over here is your, this one over here is your headlights, dims and brights and your park light. And then, as I said, this is your indicator. So the three plugs that we've just pulled out, we first of all got the headlight adjustment plug, which is it's got this clip over here, and you're able to push this clip and release it. We've got the headlight dims and brights plug, and this clip lifts up like that and you're able to push it out. And then we've got the indicator light, which has got this clip here which you lift up and push out. Now, something that you will see that's interesting about this one, if you can see, it being indicator, it's got 3 wires. If you look at the indicator bulb housing, which I've got here, I've already put the LED bulb in. It's also the same bulb as the rear, which I think is what, it's a PY21W, it says on there. If you look inside here, hopefully you can see there that there are only 2 pins, which makes sense because an indicator bulb should only have 2 pins. So why there is a middle wire on, I don't know. But what we're going to do is we want to make sure of our polarity because of what we wanted to do. So we're just going to quickly take the multimeter, put on our indicators. I'm going to put the hazards on because when the hazards are on, the indicators tend to flash slower. And that's going to give the multimeter a chance to be able to give me a reading. Okay, so with the indicators on hazards right now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing the 2 outers because we know that the middle one isn't being used from the indicator plug. Brown and pink. Common sense tells me that brown is going to be negative. So I will first of all putting my negative terminal on the brown, and I'm putting my positive terminal on the pink, and there you can see we're getting a reading which is telling us that yes, I was right, brown is negative, pink is positive. And here we have the halogen indicator bulb. As you can see, if I bring this closer, you can see why it would be great to actually move towards LED. Look at that, all the orange paint just peeling off. That's what happens because it's inside the housing of the headlights, and the headlights are getting hot inside there. That's why I want to change the headlights to LED as well, reduce that heat. But anyway, here is the LED light. Now the reason why putting the LEDs in causes it to flash faster is because the LEDs have almost no resistance compared to this halogen bulb. So if we take away the halogen bulb and we've only got the LED, what if we take a resistor? This is a rather small resistor, and put it in parallel with this LED. That should do the trick. That should be able to give us the resistance needed to bring the resistance back to the spec of the halogen bulb. Now the thing with resistors is that they take all that extra energy and they release it in the form of heat. Now the kind of resistance that a halogen bulb like this uses, so the kind of heat that is released, this resistor is not going to make it. You can bring a larger resistor such as this. This one I think is something like about a 0.5 watt or a 1 watt, half a watt or a 1 watt, the small one. This one maybe is coming to about a 5 watt resistance. Again, I don't think it's going to be able to handle the kinds of heat. The code of this bulb says a P21W. That maybe gives me an indication that it could be 21 watts. So, if we can't use a resistor like this, what then? Well, I found this product. Now they sell these for motorcycles. And when I saw them, I thought, well, why can't we actually use them on the vehicles as well? I don't see any reason why not to. yeah, if we look at the specs on here, hopefully they can focus. Yeah, let's bring it over there. Yeah, let's look at those specs over there. Right, it's the 12 volts, which is what we're using, obviously. 25 watts. That sounds great. You can see the amount of resistance this is. It's got a 6.8 ohms. Now, why does it look so different to this? Well, actually, essentially, inside of this is probably a resistor like this, just a much larger one, 25 watt resistor. But remember, like I said, the resistors release all that extra energy in the form of heat. And this has got an aluminium housing. And as we know, aluminium coolers are put everywhere where heat needs to be displaced. So this is just a resistor with an aluminium cooler. Now this resistor has got 4 wires. Okay, it's got 4 connections. Okay, but just like a normal resistor, it's got 2 sides. So it's actually 2 connections. But over here you can see what's happening is that they're splitting it into 2. And that's how you would connect it in parallel. So we'll take the power source, the indicator source, from the switch of the vehicle, and connect of the positive over there, and this one will be the one going to the LED. And the same with on the negative side, you do exactly the same. The source, the negative, coming from the wires that we've got there, the brown wire that we've got in the vehicle over there, and the other wire will go straight to the LED. And in that way, we're connecting it in parallel. So, I hope this is going to work. The theory is sound. Let's go try it out. What I'm first going to do is, seeing as this resistor uses bullet connections, we've got a male over here and we've got a female over there. I decided to take normal bullets, which I'll be putting onto the vehicle's wiring, and but these are rather large, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to clamp them up, make them smaller, so that we can get them. The reason why I want to use them and not just put a permanent connection in is because it's quite possible that the resistor might fail over time, although I doubt it. But better safe than sorry, and rather have a easily replaceable resistor by using removable connections. And that should be tight enough. That's good. Now, in order to mount this, remember this could get hot, although I don't know how hot it could get because remember it's working rather intermittently, right? But just to be safe, I don't want to tie it onto the cable tie over here where the wires are, which would put it right up against those wires, because I don't want to damage any of these wires. I know it's got heat resistant, heat insulative tape on it, but again, I don't want to take the chance. I couldn't find any other hole, so I'm going to have to make a hole right there, and that'll be the perfect spot for it to actually be mounted. And I'll just put some corrosion block on it. Skull.